I put every college football team into the college football playoff. Well, almost every team. See, there are 133 teams, but only 128 teams were able to make the bracket. So I apologize to the fans of UMass, Louisiana Monroe, Nevada, Akron, and Kent State. Sorry, your teams will not be in this video. Maybe you should tell them to get a little bit better. So, yeah. Every single game was put through a college football simulator with real-life stats and real-life plays, so the game outcome should be pretty realistic. Now, the seedings, I took the CBS poll with every single team ranked from 1 to 133, and I took the best 8 teams and gave them all 1 seeds, and the next best 8 teams and gave them all 2s. Because it's a 128 team bracket, there are 8 divisions, so I had to do it like that. It'll make more sense as we go on. And in the top right corner, I'm keeping track of the upsets for you just because I feel like that'd be more fun. So without further ado, let's get into it, the round of 128. So first up, Division 1 will be Michigan's division. Seeds to look out for: number 1, Michigan; number 2, Ohio State; number 3, Oklahoma State; number 4, Kansas. So the first game, Michigan will take down UTEP. Texas State will lose to Jacksonville State. Stanford will surprisingly beat Kansas. A 4 seed has been eliminated. USC will take down Louisiana. Ohio State will take down Eastern Michigan. Another upset as South Alabama takes down Boise State. Oklahoma State defeats Indiana. And Texas A&M will take down Houston. So 3 upsets in the first division. So yeah, on to Division 2. Washington's division. Seeds to look out for: number 1, Washington; number 2, Ole Miss; number 3, Tennessee; and number 4, James Madison. Alright, let's start. Washington versus Charlotte. To no surprise, Washington will come out on top. Appalachian State will defeat Ohio. James Madison will take down Army. Duke will lose to Northern Illinois. Ole Miss will beat Ball State by a large amount. Virginia Tech will take down Western Kentucky. Tennessee will defeat San Diego State, and Toledo will lose to Colorado. So we have 5 total upsets. As we go on to Division 3, Texas's division: number 1, Texas; number 2, Arizona; number 3, Kansas State; and number 4, Iowa are the seeds to look out for. Let's go. Number 1, Texas; number 16, Louisiana State. Texas will win. Auburn and Texas State. Auburn will take down Texas State. Iowa will take down North Texas. North Carolina will take down Georgia Southern. Arizona will take down Middle Tennessee. Wisconsin will barely beat Illinois. Kansas State will take down Hawaii. And UNLV will defeat Purdue. So 0 upsets in Division 3. That could come down to the wire, that division there. Now Alabama's division: number 1, Alabama; number 2, LSU; number 3, Liberty; and number 4 are the seed. Tulane are the seeds to look out for in this one. Alabama will defeat Sam Houston. California will defeat Boston College. Tulane will take down Cincinnati. UCLA will lose to Pittsburgh. That's a 5 seed that's eliminated. LSU will destroy New Mexico. New Mexico State will lose to BYU. That's another upset. Central Michigan will beat Liberty. Another upset. And UTSA will take down South Florida. So we have 8 total upsets as we are halfway through round of 128. Now let's go to Georgia's division. Number 1, Georgia; number 2, Penn State; number 3, North Carolina State; and number 4, West Virginia. This could be an exciting division to watch. Georgia will take down Temple. TCU will lose to Minnesota. That's an upset. West Virginia will lose to Arizona State. Maryland will defeat Old Dominion. Penn State will cruise by Tulsa. Georgia Tech will take down Syracuse. North Carolina State will beat Navy. And then Florida will destroy Arkansas State. 10 total upsets as we move on to Division 6. Florida State's division. The seeds to look out for: number 1, Florida State; number 2, Notre Dame; number 3, Clemson; and number 4, Troy. Florida State versus Buffalo. No surprise, Florida State will win. San Jose State will take down Washington State. Troy will lose to Colorado State. That's a big upset. Iowa State will beat Bowling Green. Notre Dame will beat Southern Miss. Rutgers will take down Georgia State. Clemson will barely beat UAB. And Air Force will lose to Michigan State. That's another pretty big upset. So we have 12 upsets heading into the last two divisions. Division 7, Oregon's division. Seeds to look out for. Number 1, Oregon. Number 2, Oklahoma. Number 3, Oregon State. And number 4, Memphis. Alright, so Oregon will destroy UConn to move on. Coastal Carolina will defeat Nebraska. Memphis will lose to Virginia. That's another big upset. Kentucky will cruise on by Utah State. Oklahoma will beat Western Michigan by a large amount. Fresno State will take down Arkansas. Oregon State will destroy Vanderbilt. And Miami will take down Wake Forest. We have 13 upsets. Moving into our last division, Division 8, Missouri's division. Seeds to look out for. Number 1, Missouri. Number 2, Louisville. Number 3, SMU. And number 4, Utah. First game of the bracket, Missouri will take down East Carolina by only 8, though, so not a lot. South Carolina will take down UCF. Utah will lose to Baylor by a lot. Miami, Ohio will take down Rice. Louisville cruise on by FIU. Mississippi State beats Wyoming, so that's a 7 seed down. SMU will defeat FAU, and Northwestern will lose to Marshall. We have some 6 seeds that are gone, and that will do it for the round of 128. On to the round of 64. Back to Michigan's bracket. Number 1, Michigan versus number 9, Jacksonville State. Michigan will come out on top. Number 5, USC versus number 13, Stanford. The winner of that will be USC, so it'll be Michigan versus USC. Number 2, Ohio State versus number 10, South Alabama. The winner will be Ohio State. And then last but not least, number 3, Oklahoma State versus number 6, Texas A&M. And the winner will be Texas A&M, so that's an upset right there. We have one upset going into Division 2, back to Washington's division. Number 1, Washington versus number 8, Appalachian State. And Washington will take that by 4 points. Number 4, James Madison versus number 12, Northern Illinois. The winner of that will be James Madison, no surprise. Then we will have number 2, Ole Miss versus number 7, Virginia Tech. And Ole Miss will come out on top. Then we have number 3, Tennessee, and number 11, Colorado. This could be a close one, but the winner will end up being Tennessee by a lot. So we still have one upset, and only one upset, going into the third division. Number 1, Texas, and number 8, Auburn. Auburn's journey will come to an end. Texas will move on. Next, we have number 4, Iowa versus number 5, North Carolina. And the winner will be North Carolina, so another 4 that has been eliminated. Then we have number 2, Arizona, and number 7, Wisconsin. This could also be a good one. Arizona will win. Then we have number 3, Kansas State, and number 6, UNLV. I don't know why, but I feel like upset. And it will be. UNLV will beat Kansas State by 4. Now we have 3 upsets going into Division 4. We're averaging 1 upset a division. Let's see if that continues. Number 1, Alabama, and number 8, California. No surprise as Alabama moves on. Number 4, Tulane, and number 12, Pittsburgh. This could be a close one. And Pittsburgh will beat Tulane, another 4 seed out. Next we have number 2, LSU, and number 10, BYU. And LSU will cruise on by. Next we have UTSA as the 6 and Central Michigan as the 14. And UTSA will move on past Central Michigan. Next up to Division 5, we have 4 upsets going into this division. We have number 1, Georgia versus number 9, Minnesota. Georgia will move on. Number 5, Maryland versus number 13, Arizona State. So let's see who wins that. It'll be Maryland, no surprise. Number 2, Penn State versus number 7, Georgia Tech. The winner will be Penn State. Overtime game, our first overtime game of the tournament. Then we have number 3, North Carolina State, and number 6, Florida. Another overtime game, maybe? No, just Florida cruises on by. So we have 5 upsets, still averaging an upset a division as we go to Florida State's division. We have number 1 Florida State versus number 8 San Jose State, and Florida State will win. Number 5 Iowa State versus number 13 Colorado State. Maybe an upset. No, Iowa State will win that one. No upset. Colorado State's headed home. Number 2 Notre Dame and number 7 Rutgers. The winner of that will be Notre Dame by 7 as they move on. Number 3 Clemson and number 11 Michigan State. The winner will be Clemson by 20. So we had 0 upsets that time, and we will head on to Division 7 as we have 5 upsets total. Number 1 Oregon and number 8 Coastal Carolina. Oregon will destroy another opponent. Number 5 Kentucky versus number 13 Virginia. The winner of that will be Kentucky by 38, not even close. Look out for that game against Oregon. Number 2 Oklahoma, number 7 Fresno State. The winner will be Oklahoma by 3, a pretty close one. And then we will have number 3 Oregon State versus number 6 Miami. And the winner will be Oregon State by 24. Now heading into the last division, Division 8, we have 5 upsets, so not a lot. So it's playing out pretty nicely. Number 1 Missouri versus number 9 South Carolina, an SEC matchup, but Missouri will take it by 21. Next we have Miami, Ohio as the 5 and the 13 seed Baylor. They'll crash it out, and the winner will be Baylor by a lot. Then we will have number 2 Louisville and number 10 Mississippi State. This could be an upset, but it will not be. Louisville will win by 10. Then we have number 3 SMU and number 11 Marshall. The winner of that one will be SMU by 21. So that is what it's looking like so far. We'll head into the round of 32. Back to Division 1 for Michigan versus USC. The winner will be Michigan. Number 2 Ohio State versus number 6 Texas A&M. This could be a good one. The winner will be Ohio State by pretty much a lot. Next we'll have number 1 Washington and number 4 James Madison. The winner of that will be Washington, and James Madison does not stand a chance. Next we'll have number 2 Ole Miss for number 3 Tennessee, another SEC matchup. This could go either way, but Ole Miss will come out with the victory. Next we have number 1 Texas versus number 5 North Carolina, and Texas will come out. That was a long pause. By 17 points. Next we have number 2 Arizona versus number 6 UNLV. And Arizona will win. No surprise there. Number 1 Alabama versus number 12 Pittsburgh. They've come a far way. Can they keep going? No. Alabama shut them down and their road will end. Number 2 LSU versus number 6 UTSA. And the winner will be LSU. So no upsets in the round of 32 so far as we move on to Division 5. Number 1 Georgia, number 5 Maryland, and Georgia will come out on top by 10. Number 2 Penn State versus number 6 Florida. This could be a good game. The winner will be Florida in overtime, our second overtime game and our first upset of the round of 32. Next we'll have number 1 Florida State and number 5 Iowa State. Iowa State, a second upset in a row, will win by 18 over Florida State. Number 2, Notre Dame against number 3, Clemson. 3 upsets in a row? Yeah. Well, there's another upset. Clemson will take down Notre Dame. As we move on to Division 7, number 1, Oregon versus number 5, Kentucky. Oregon barely sneaks by, so they will move on. Number 2, Oklahoma versus number 3, Oregon State. This could also be a good one, but Oklahoma will move on to play Oregon in that final. Number 1, Missouri versus number 13, Baylor. Can Baylor keep it going? No, they can't. Missouri will end it. Number 2, Louisville, and number 3, SMU could also be a good game, and the winner of that will be SMU. So we had 4 upsets total as we move on to the Sweet 16. Number 1, Michigan versus number 2, Ohio State. See how it worked out like that. And the winner will be Michigan by 26. Not even a close game. So next up, we'll have number 1, Washington versus number 2, Ole Miss. And Washington will come out on top by a large margin. Number 1, Texas versus number 2, Arizona. And Arizona will come out on top. We'll have our first upset of the Sweet 16. So upsets still are happening as we go to number 1, Alabama, and number 2, LSU. And Alabama will win by 10 and move on to the Elite 8. Next, we will have number 1, Georgia, and number 6, Florida. Florida has had a pretty good run. Can they keep it going? And they cannot, as they lose by 31. Then we'll have number 5, Iowa State versus number 3, Clemson. I wouldn't have predicted that to be the final 2 teams of Division 6. But Clemson will come out on top, winning by 11 as they move on to the Elite 8. Then we'll have number 1, Oregon, and number 2, Oklahoma. The winner of that will be Oklahoma, so another upset. Then we will have Missouri as the 1 versus SMU as the 3. The winner of that will be Missouri by 32, so not very close. Down to the Elite 8. Number 1, Michigan versus number 1, Washington. A rematch of the national championship, and Michigan will win by 7. So they will move on to the Final 4 as we go to number 2, Arizona, and number 1, Alabama. And Alabama will barely sneak by as they win by 3 and will play Michigan in the Final 4. Next, it will be number 1, Georgia versus number 3, Clemson. And Georgia will win by 9 and punch their tickets to the Final 4 as we go to number 2, Oklahoma, and number 1, Missouri. And Missouri will win by 14, and they will take themselves to the Final 4. So now we have number 1, Michigan versus number 1, Alabama to go to the championship. And the winner will be Alabama by 4, so they will win their bracket. And now let's head to the lower bracket, where we will see an SEC matchup. Number 1, Georgia versus number 1, Missouri. And the winner of that will be Missouri by 3. So we will have an SEC against SEC matchup. Number 1, Alabama, who won Division 4, against number 1, Missouri, who won Division 8. It all comes down to this, an SEC matchup. And honestly, this could have happened in real life. So I like the results so far. Now I don't know who's about to win, but either way, I feel like it could be pretty realistic. But yeah, number 1, Alabama versus number 1, Missouri. The winner will be Missouri, winning 42-24. So Missouri will be your winner. And wow, look at that. Missouri, 1 seed from Division 8. Well, if you enjoyed watching, please hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe and share this video if you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.